I mentioned probate, and one of the secrets I think I want you to know about is that probate can be a very good thing. And that is not the message that you'll hear commonly when people are talking about probate. People say avoid probate, have a trust, do other things. And, depending on your particular situation, that might be what's right for you. Perhaps you have long-term care insurance. Perhaps you have, millions of dollars of assets. There's all sorts of reasons that having, avoiding probate might be right for you, but I don't expect anyone who's not an estate planning and elder law attorney to know that for themselves. Rely on your attorney and ask these questions of them. So continuing on with why a will and that necessary probate is a good thing is that it allows the deceased spouse to protect their assets. When they're gone, whatever they had is going to go into the trust. Anything in the trust is not going to count against that surviving spouse for Medicaid eligibility. So let's just take a situation where, the couple, maybe nobody's on Medicaid yet, but they're worried about Medicaid, or they're worried about long-term care costs. And they've got $1 million estate. Let's say that this was even before John and Joan got Joan on Medicaid. And John dies first. What this will with asset protection allows is at least half. So John's half, 500,000, goes into a trust for Joan. Maybe all the bank accounts go into a trust for Joan. And Joan needs Medicaid because, before John was living in the house with her, taking care of her. Now he's gone. She needs to move to a care facility. That money doesn't have to be used for Medicaid eligibility. In other words, you don't have to apply for Medicaid, so it can satisfy the private pay period. But whatever is in that trust is not going to interfere with Medicaid. Very important, because through what is a probate, which let's say a probate might cost $5,000, maybe even $10,000. This couple protected $500,000. And if they had advanced knowledge that one of them is going to be dying, in Washington, we often use separate property agreements to put all the assets that can be put into the name of the dying spouse in their name. Sounds counterintuitive, but the reason that we do that is if all of the assets of the couple, the house and the bank accounts, all are owned by the spouse who will be dying, $1 million, then all of those assets will funnel through the probate, through the will, through the probate, into the trust for the surviving spouse. So under Medicaid's perspective, yeah, there's a trust with $1 million in it, but they ignore it. They look at what assets are left in the name of the surviving spouse, which are nothing or relatively nothing. The surviving spouse qualifies for Medicaid, despite the fact there's $1 million in the bank that benefits them. And that money then, after the surviving spouse passes, will then go down to the children or to whomever they wanted to receive it. So a probate can be a very, very good thing. So don't just assume avoid probate. That's the right thing. Not necessarily. You might be, making a $500,000 to a $1 million mistake. Go see an attorney who can help guide you on that.